It is the official position of this podcast that this is, in fact, an election interference case. Because this podcast is not backed by major corporations and is essentially something I write in my spare time, I'm not worried about pissing off any major entities or even ruffling the feathers of any Russian troll bots or troll farm communities because no one can ruin my online reputation more than I've already done so myself. Donald Trump has had support in his criminal trial. This week, Senators J.D. Vance of Ohio and Tommy Tuberville of Alabama supported him, as well as Attorney Generals Brenna Byrd of Iowa and Steve Marshall of Alabama. They were there to support him. Earlier this week, Vivek Ramaswamy, the former presidential candidate, is also scheduled to be there to show his support for him. I like how all of his supporters are supporting him in the same way you would keep watch over a dying relative hoping for a piece of the inheritance. While he was there, Tommy Tuberville described the courthouse in New York City as the most depressing thing. It says something about Tuberville that his only New York connection is a criminal court. Plus, if he really wants to see something depressing, he should go to a comedy open mic in the Village on a weeknight. Keith Davidson was the lawyer for Stormy Daniels and helped arrange the hush money payment between herself and Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former lawyer and fixer. One of the TV news talking heads described Davidson's efforts as a big practice of sleazy junk, which is coincidentally how my last date described my genital region. One of Donald Trump's claims is that one of the times he called Michael Cohen was a butt dial. That's disproved by the fact that his ass is more likely to eat the phone rather than dial it. Donald Trump is said to have farted a lot during his trial. In fact, studies show that he has pumped so much gas that oil companies are expected to tap his intestines for reserves. There is the possibility that Trump may get put in jail if he keeps violating the gag orders of the trial judge Juan Marchand. In response, Mayor Eric Adams says the city is ready to shoulder the burdens necessitated by the jailing of a former president of the United States. It's an historic moment, as that's the first time that Eric Adams has said anything, and New Yorkers responded, "Oh, that's good to know." Ward, as the only trial lawyer here, to the best of my knowledge, do you really see this trial having an impact that no matter what the verdict is on the electorate?
No, because people know Donald Trump. They've made up their mind. They like him. They don't like him. And I think they look at this as it's old news. I mean, Bill Clinton does, 0.1% of this. And, there's calls for his head. But Trump does it, and evangelicals flock to him. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And in all the trials I ever did, I never saw a defendant fall asleep. I saw some, kind of mess themselves. I saw some of them try to run, but never fall asleep. I guess the My Pillow guy, might come in handy for him or something. But I've never seen a defendant fall asleep. That was really pretty shocking.
I also see it's the irony that, like, in 2016, his big thing with Hillary Clinton was lock her up, put her on trial, and then in 2020. He calls Joe Biden Sleepy Joe, and like all of this is just okay. The self-projection aspect of this is just, it's beautiful. I love it.
And yet nobody's calling him, Sleepy Don. I mean,
right.
You would think that would be the headline.
It makes you think that maybe he's a bit psychic. I mean, he called all these things. he just ascribed them to the wrong persons, but he told us the future.
But his supporters are saying that real men wear diapers. They've made signs.
Oh, man.
I want to make signs about wearing diapers and being for it.
That's right. I'm looking for a whole bunch of preschoolers to start running for president.
I would vote for them.
They have a better grasp of reality.
That's right.
I think. Plus, kids are way more cooler than adults.
That's right.
Why do we wait until people are adults before they vote? Adults fuck shit up. We've seen this.
Yeah.
And kids are not going to lie to you.
Well, that's going to open a whole big can of worms, with huggy lobbyists. I mean, it's just going to be crazy.
No pun intended, right, Chip?
You know?
What is RFK?